I start all these motherfucking episodes by telling you that I have a amazing person inside the room, but I have two of that I'm just gonna say, like, I'm just gonna boast about you guys the whole episode. And I think if I'm gonna do anything on this episode, it will be to show my flowers to both of you guys. I have two leaders of Phoenix inside the room. I have two leaders of the bike community inside the room. Welcome to the Low Mains Asylum Show, where we bring you down to the nitty and the gritty. To the right of me, I have Mr. Brian. Brian, do you have any AKAs, my guy?
People have been calling me Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay.
they don't know my name. Yeah, they just say, "Hey, Tuesday." It's all
Right.
good.
I'm gonna call you Tuesday too, my guy.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Come sit down with me, man.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yes, sir. And to the right of him, we got Mr. Otis himself, man.
Yes, sir. South Steezery.
And man, how you feeling, my brother?
I'm good. El Captain Black Sparrow, if you didn't know.
I was just about to, bro. I love all the AKAs because, like,
yes, sir.
this is a show about AKAs, you know.
Okay, also known as South
Tell them
Steezery.
your AKAs.
Right,
I don't know.
man. So it goes Ollie, AKA Low Main, AKA extra guac on your motherfucking burrito. I used to be a vegetarian for 4.5 years. So
What?
man, yeah, man.
Okay.
AKA the Wood Tip Chifa. I always had a Black and Mild on Deckington in my pocket. Every single function had the Wood Tip, man. AKA the Milkman. I had a little season where I was a side dude for like a long time, you know. So the Milkman, AKA the Dad Will Jackson, AKA I got the Rona in Pomona, AKA Tecate 69. No, bro.
I got mine in Vegas.
Did you?
I got mine in Vegas. No shit.
Yo, we should start making like report cards of that. Like, where were you in COVID time?
Vegas.
My God. And I love that. Like, so thank y'all for coming inside the room with me. I just wanted to, I've been talking about multiple episodes about bikes. I've been talking about the bike community here.
Yes, sir.
Now, I have two of the greatest people that I met in the biking community. Everybody else, I'm sorry, but y'all not gonna reach these two's levels. I'm sorry.
Otis for sure, not me. I'm new here. So.
My God.
Appreciate it.
Now, I know every single privileged kid that was growing up had a bike when they were growing up. But whatever got you guys so passionate about riding bikes, if I can ask you?
Go for it.
Me?
Yeah.
Hey!
What got me riding bikes originally?
Yes, sir.
I mean, we always had a bike around. Somebody in the crew had a bike. You ride it. I'm an extreme sport guy. I skateboarded for goddamn 15 some years.
Hell yeah.
Riding bikes was just one of those things that was on the extreme, so you knew how to do it and you always had one around. So I hopped on everybody's bike, especially my little cousin. My little cousin always had a bike around, so I could always hop on his.
Shouts out to the cousin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brian?
Yeah, I had a BMX bike when I was a little kid for sure. I had a bunch of bikes.
Mm-hmm.
I know at least 2 of them got stolen before I realized, okay, I got to take care of my bike.
Grimy motherfuckers.
So I'm on my nephew all the time. He leaves his bike in front of the house. You can't do it. You can't do it. If there's any kids out there listening, take care of your bikes.
Especially the lowrider bikes.
Yeah, they'll get snatched up. You even run into 7-Eleven for 5 minutes, they'll get snatched up. But yeah, I grew up skating too. I had a bike first, and then just made my way into skateboarding. There was this girl I had a crush on, and her older brother skated.
Let's go!
So he's the one who got me into music too. He got me into Run DMC,
Okay.
the Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, because I know you wanted to talk about music.
Yes, sir.
We'll KRS-One, BDP. We'll talk about that in a minute though.
Biking's a heavy in the community of music.
Right.
Yeah.
Heavy. It's always
Skateboarding
been there.
too.
It's always been there. It's always
Skating.
been plugged in.
Now, I do want to talk to you guys about like skating because I think that's the most craziest thing because like I think as us three, I found my love for skateboarding first, and then out of nowhere I did get into biking, and like that was the most craziest thing that like I was looking for that extra, dare I say, itch. You know, like I just wanted to, like I wanted to go faster. I wanted to do something a bit more crazier. And I think biking definitely brought that into it. Now, when y'all started riding bikes in Phoenix, was there a biking community?
I talked to you about this once a while back. There was a crew in 2014. I used to ride with a crew called the Phoenix Cruise Crew, and shout out to those guys if any of them are listening.
Phoenix Cruise Crew, yep. Shout out.
But yeah, they had 200 or 300 people on a lot of their rides, and it was the most eclectic group I've ever seen in Phoenix. Honestly, they had lowrider bikes. They had, big bikes weren't super popular then, but there were a lot of 24-inch bikes.
You said it was 4 years ago?
2014.
2014?
Ooh.
Yeah, 8 years ago.
8 years.
8 years ago, okay.
And I didn't even have a big BMX bike then. I had a 24-inch Mongoose that I've had since I was a kid, pretty much. And I had just some road bikes and commuter bikes. And
Nice.
Their groups were, I think I was riding a lowrider bike when they had theirs. Because they did like laps around the city, right? Like 2 or 3, yeah. I had a lowrider bike. I had built a lowrider bike. So my first one, the Bratz one from Walmart, $100, the purple one.
Let's go.
I brought it home one day and I was, I had it right outside the door.
Yes, sir.
It got yanked, as a matter of fact, so I had to go get me another one. And I built it, ground up. And when they was having their little group rides, I would ride that around.
That's
with
dope.
the lowrider bikes.
Okay.
I can't remember their names, but they had their little plaque on the back and everything too. Same people though, Oddfellas, Phoenix Cruise Crew, whole lot of lowrider bikes. There was nobody on tracks. BMXs and
kind of cruisers.
Yeah, BMXs. I mean, like 20-inch cruisers and 26-inch cruisers.
Dang. Okay.
Basically, just all those. No fixies, no track bikes. You might see a roadie.
Right.
But that was about it.
Right. Man, I think I first heard about the biking community back in 2014. Also, it was when I think I was helping one of the homies named David. He had a nice little art show going on downtown. So we're in like the back of a house, like trying to set up this whole art show. One of the homies is trying to build like this DJ platform, and I'm just back here painting a whole wall, like just trying to paint it pitch black, like just trying to get it ready. This random dude just comes in because it was also like a bike rental place. He comes in looking like Jesus, bro. Like he's like, hey, fast man, I need to get a bike. I need to go down the street because they're having critical mass. So like I'm standing there, and so like I'm like, what's critical mass? And he's like, man, all these people get together and they ride bikes.
Yeah.
Halfway through painting, I was like, wait, what? Like a whole lot of people, but they just ride bikes? Like he's like, yeah, we're riding to Tempe. And I was like, I'm gonna come back and finish this painting later, bro. Like, yo, this has to go.
Right.
Literally all of us,
in?
all of us stopped what we were doing, rode from, I think it was 3rd Street and Roosevelt to 3rd Street and Indian School, where they used to have the first critical mass. And like, literally, man, like, I fell in love with these folks, like, cause like, again, man, like it was so freeing, like seeing like-minded people. Again, a lot of cruisers. Like I didn't see a lot of people that like were on the same like bikes. You're right.
Exactly, basically.
But now it's a whole new, it's a whole new mixture. And like, I do want to thank you guys because like,
Sorry,
if it was,
I couldn't find 3rd Street and Indian.
Siri, ain't no one talking to you. I do want to thank you guys for kind of giving the people the opportunity to kind of flourish that way, because like I think all of the people that do a lot of these amazing tricks, like there's young kids, so all the way to like olden boys, that like it's amazing to see people come out into a platform that y'all have and like to do that. So while I do say that, I want to go into my next question, which is, how did you guys set up your platform for Tuesday and Wednesday?
Oh, you can go first on that one. Otis has been doing this way longer than I have.
Originally, you want to know about Wednesday or Sunday?
Oh my God! So I didn't start with Sunday originally.
So originally it was Sunday Fun Day.
Okay.
So about 7 years ago, I didn't have. I rode with all the crews. Look, I rode with State. Shout out to State. Loops was a big thing. Heavy pedal at this time. I heard that. Okay, Heavy Pedal. I'm not riding with nobody named Heavy Pedal, first of all.
Okay.
But shouts out to Heavy Pedal. I rock with them tough, because when I finally rode with them,
yes, sir.
They were accommodating. They laid a lot of ground rules for us. Once I finally found my friends that had like similar bikes from the car scene, we had a little Sunday Fun Day, meet up at noon, and we would try to ride from downtown Phoenix to Tempe.
Nice. Okay.
So about 7-8 years ago, that's what it was. Sunday Funday was from downtown to Tempe. You stay by the light rail. If anything happens, catch the light rail right back to Phoenix, right back to your car. That originally happened, and then COVID hit.
Okay.
So COVID hit, and I think it was like pre-COVID or post-COVID, but if y'all don't know, shout out to Pedal Mama Tanya. Now, she was like, I ride bikes, you ride bikes, let's go do a lap around Tempe Town Lake. I'm slower than you, but I want to try it anyways.
Okay.
And I said, all right, I'm going to go out on Wednesday, and we just going to do, I'm going to practice my wheelies, and you're going to, go around the lake.
Catch up.
So what we would do is she would, do her little lap every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, she would do a little lap, and I would do wheelies. That was our practice session. That was just our fitness.
Right.
That's what it was. It was just therapy for us. Started off as fitness. COVID happened, and then post-COVID happened. And then we had our little group where it was like 4 or 5 of us. So I had people from Sunday Funday before, and then Tanya, and then her friend, and then, a couple, and my cousin out. Now it's exciting. So post-COVID, everyone wants to come outside.
Right.
We have something already established that we do. So they were like, let's get outside again.
And just put it together.
So 1 month, it was 5 of us on a good day. That Monday, that first Wednesday, it was probably about 5. The second one, it was like 23. And then after that, we went up to like 40. And then by the end of the month, we had almost like 80 people. And it was a consistent. Every Willy Wednesday was like, but it was track bikes, cruisers. If I could see you, then you can ride, basically.
Right.
But I was trying to get everybody to swap over to fix, because originally it was all fitness. And the most fitness bike is a fixed gear.
Exactly. Right.
So I encouraged everybody to get fixies because it was a endurance thing. Because first, you go around Tempe Town Lake a couple of times, then you get used to it and you want to do it, more and more. So I would encourage everybody that's riding with us to get a bike you can keep up with. So we would flip you to fix at the light if you wasn't already fixed, but you would be on a bike that you could keep up. If mountain biking was your thing, just kicking in a high gear or whatever, keep up.
Make sure that you're here.
Just make sure you're here. Try to do it well. If you want to learn, I'll teach you. If not, Tanya's doing the fitness thing. It's all good. Man. That's how Willy Wednesday started. Okay. Sunday Funday was just, we need another day. We just bring it back. We was like, all right, Sunday, it's nice outside, let's go ride. Basically, and nobody really had a ride established, because I've already had Sunday for so long. Right. So Sunday Funday was already a thing for us. So that part was easy.
And if I can say, man, that one of the greatest things is like, when I was barely getting back, man, because I used to ride bikes back when I was 24, back in 2014. And then I stopped riding bikes for a while because heartbreak happens. Like things happen, like, girls out here, like, but you just try to find with yourself in other ways. And like, I was like, I just need to retire the bike for a second.
Hey, that's how I got my name.
My
nickname, Saab.
From?
Saab. Sabine. But
I feel you there.
But it was a tag thing in high school, so we used to tag as skaters. We used to tag our,
that's dope.
Our little handle. So Sweet Otis Brown is what Saab stands for.
Oh, nice.
My God.
And I've stuck with it
that's
for so long.
Dope.
From skateboarding, through high school, through that. That's how I got the name Saab Steez.
Saab Steez. I love that, bro. Like it has like a nice little
Gangstar.
Oh,
my Steves.
You know my Steves. Yeah.
It's all from my God.
Rest in peace, Guru.
Yeah, rest in peace, Guru. You know what I'm saying?
No, and one of the greatest things, man, like when I got back into it, Izzy told me about it. So shouts out to Izzy.
Shouts out to Izzy.
And then the wild thing was I came out to the bike ride expecting what I used to see back in the days. Like what I used to see is like, and I ain't trying to knock anybody's hustle, but like homies in tights and like highlighter, like little those leotard shit. And like, but like I would just want to see people that like are more on my flow. And like that was the greatest, that everyone had fashion, everyone had great looking bikes.
Yeah.
Everyone was there to have a fun time.
Yeah.
And like, so like I truly do appreciate you for that, man. And like it did really bring the culture down in like Tempe every single Wednesday.
You know what? And I'm not even going to take full credit for any of like bringing the culture together. To be honest with you, I adopted the culture from LA.
Yes, sir.
I adopted the culture. When I was looking for my niche in the scene, I'm not gonna say I'm not bagging on the kits. I'm not bagging on the helmets. I'm not bagging on the because I have kits. I don't have a helmet, but I have kits. I have kits. You know, I will ride clip-in. I will ride the kits. I will race somebody. But that wasn't how I showed up to my first ride. I showed up to my first ride on a fixed gear, black Vans, black pants, black hoodie. But I was riding with Tempe's ASU's finest track team. So they're on full clips, full kits, full everything, bottle. But that's how I showed up day one. Ready to do, you know, 10, 20 miles, however many miles Loops did. Because that's why I was just trying to find the, you know.
Right.
Since day one, though, riding with Loops, I did do a wheelie the first night.
Damn, Otis, like, yo, legendary.
I was still doing wheelies. Like, riding with Loops, I would do wheelies with them as they're on, like, you know, training for their next ride. I would do wheelies with them.
That is legendary.
I was trying to find out where I could ride. So I had to find, you know, my people. I rode with the, you know, heavy pedal. I rode with State. Those are who we had at the time. Those are, that we didn't have nobody else. But that's when I went to California and I was like, I'm already in California for cars. So I'm doing car shows in California. Now I have this bike scene. I'm like, they dress like me. They look like me.
What year was this?
16.
Okay. And
I can find photos.
Yeah.
I can find photos.
What was the Sunday Fun Day? What were the numbers like before COVID?
Before COVID, Sunday Fun Day, on a good day. So like before California, Arizona Sunday Fun Days, probably about 2000 with OG, like OG Pedal Squad, like you might have about 15 of us. So you might have 15 of us, and we picked up people. You would see people just riding and be like, hey, you look like you got a bike like us, ride with us.
Pull up.
And they would pass and they would be like, all right, cool, we're gonna ride with y'all. We would get up to like 15, maybe 20 people. And it was mostly my friends from the car scene. I had my little cousin, I had another little cousin. Probably, I wanna say like 2014, man. It was a long time ago.
Now, did you move down to Cali, man, or did you move back?
To California. Okay. I never moved to California, but gas was $2. I had a 4-cylinder engine, and it was nothing for me to get up and leave.
Right.
They rode like me, so I enjoyed riding with them. You know what I'm saying? They opened like, shouts out to my man Flocko. You know what I'm saying? I always say, I hit him up on Instagram one day, and I was like, hey, I'm going out to California for a car show. Can I bring my bike and ride with you? Absolutely.
Man.
He was like, as soon as you touch down, bro, like, let me know. And this is South Central LA. This is Manchester, I think he was on. Like, this is Manchester. LA, you know.
The people.
This is where you're not supposed to go. He was like, bring your bike, we're gonna go ride around LA.
Right.
And ever since then, it was solidified. Like, if I could get up and go I was there every other weekend, had to be in LA.
I love it.
So they thought I lived in LA. But that's what I brought back to Phoenix when I was like, I can't keep riding in LA. They think I live there. Let them know that I stay in my state for a couple of weeks. Right. Let me stay in my state for a couple of weeks. But it was long enough, post COVID. COVID kind of made us sit down and chill. But then that's when post COVID it opened up everybody's eyes that we can all ride together. Basically, that's how I feel.
I love that, bro. Now, are the Willie Wednesdays still going on, man? Are you still running it? Is this a thing that's...
So temporarily it's on pause.
Okay.
Temporarily. Right now it's in a transition. We're trying to figure out what we want to do with it. If we want to keep it, how we want to keep it, and what direction we're going to go with it. Basically. Right now, Pedal Mama's, she's taking over it. And she's trying to figure out how she wants to run it. So she has my full support about it.
My guy. So as soon as it comes back on, everybody pull up on Wheelie Wednesdays. I'm going to post about it on my Instagrams. Make sure to follow my guys on your Instagrams. But just shout out the socials right quick.
I'm Tuesday's turn on Instagram. I only use Instagram. go ahead real quick, and then I'll talk about Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Mine personally is at Sopsteez, Instagram, YouTube, Xbox, Cash, Facebook, anything. Even my email address is at Sopsteez, so I'm saying, Sopsteez is plugged in, you know what I'm saying?
My guy. Now, man, Brian, how did the Tuesdays come to form? What year did you guys come together, man? How did everything come into play?
We're just doing, this has just been 5 months for us. So I've been riding bikes my whole life, but skateboarding was number one for me.
Mm-hmm.
So back to COVID, that's when I got my first big BMX bike. I've had a 24-inch BMX bike pretty much my whole life. Obviously I had 20 inches when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got a 26-inch. And then during COVID, I got a 27.5 Fairdale Taj. Taj is an old legendary BMX rider, and he's from Michigan, but he lived in Austin, Texas for a long time, which is where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I knew I wanted a big BMX bike, I was like, oh, I'm getting a Taj to support my homie, you know?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Taj Mihalich, if you don't know him, do your history, look him up. But anyway, yeah, during COVID, me and my kid would go riding all the time.
Mm-hmm.
She was riding, she was either on a 20-inch or a 24-inch back then, I can't remember. But that's when I started. Okay, so I mentioned in 2014 I used to ride with Phoenix Cruise Crew.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of just disappeared. I think around 2016, 2017, they just disappeared. And I wasn't even really using Instagram back then that much.
I was finding them on Facebook.
Yeah, so I wasn't really in the bike scene, to be honest. I was riding my bike all the time, trust me. But yeah, I was just skateboarding a lot. And I know they can't see this on the thing, but I shattered my elbow during COVID.
That's a nice shiner.
Yeah, that's when I've had surgery on it twice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I started linking up with, I didn't want to skate because, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you can imagine how painful this was. This was 2 different surgeries. Anyway, the reason I wanted to mention this is to shout out some of the bike crews in Phoenix, and Otis will have to help me with some of them. But during COVID, I started, once people started going back outside a lot, I started riding with Phoenix Down Temple. They ride on Mondays.
Shout out to Down Temple, they got Monday on live. Yep.
Yeah, they're
super OGs.
I've ridden with them probably 6 or 7 times, and I've seen anywhere from 20 to like 60 people with them.
Damn.
But every Monday they ride from downtown Phoenix, Civic Space Park,
Space, yep.
and then their rides are really fun because they ride to a bar every time. So some people, like sometimes I'll go park my car where their destination is,
Nice.
and then I'll ride to Civic Space, and then I'll ride back with them, and then I'll just take off.
How do you know the destination?
They post it usually every week.
I was like, getting the secret hats, man. Yeah.
I used to ride with them when we get to the bar and then we take off from the bar. But I never thought about parking at the bar. That's a great idea.
Right.
Because I don't like locking up my bike.
Right.
Because someone's, like we just said, some cone snatcher is going to come snatch your shit up.
Right, man.
Yeah, so Phoenix Down Temple on Mondays. Obviously, Luke and Saturday morning service, they run Critical Mass, which is the first Thursday of every month. Phoenix Fixed, I've ridden with them before. They also ride on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. And a lot of the Fixie guys, they're riding all the time. There's Pedal House, and there's so many crews in Phoenix. If you
really look for, man.
Yeah, if you really want to look for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of little subcultures in the bike scene.
Okay.
A lot of subcultures, I'll say that.
And
definitely.
And like I think that's just really, really cool to me that like I think from 2014 to now, like what it blossomed into. Like, do you guys feel that there is an actual Phoenix bike community now?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So like when I said I adapted, or Phoenix is adapting like different cultures, I can now go ride downtown and see somebody I know.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So riding downtown, like if you know downtown is the place that, you know, we all socialize, you can catch somebody on a bicycle downtown now.
Right.
4 years ago, you would see somebody on the roadie and be like, you know what I'm saying?
It's not, yeah.
But
it's not
now
normal.
you look at a roadie like, I might know that person. You know what I'm saying? There's
Right.
definitely a culture down here.
Big time.
Me and Pedal Mama were just doing, our, fitness lap a couple of days ago, and Polo, shout out to Polo, he off of work, just pulled up to the dog park and was like, hey.
I'm ready to ride.
He wasn't, no, he was meeting up with Rafi. He was meeting up with Rafi. But he was just randomly downtown. I was like, I'm gonna go stop by the dog park and see if anybody's there.
That's dope.
Cause then you can be downtown and you can like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Where y'all at?
Exactly.
Off of somebody's car. So I definitely feel like I couldn't have done that 2-3 years ago. But that's how LA is too.
Oh.
Because post-COVID or pre-COVID, when I was going to LA for just like car shows, I can drive through LA, and because I used to be out there so much, I would see somebody I know on a bicycle easy in my car.
Right.
They have a community that's so,
niched, right.
Right. So I love that Arizona has that now. I definitely feel like we have a community out here.
I love that, man. That's the creation of Tuesday, man.
Yeah. So I mentioned some of those groups, and then I also have to shout out to Unity Ride Shop. They were doing rides twice a month, plus a BMX jam once a month. So they were doing 3 events every month, which is on hold, and we'll talk about that in a little bit because of some trouble Randy got into on a ride out. And then also Average Joe's. So after my elbow and I got back, I built up my first big BMX bike. I started riding with Average Joe's a lot. They're in South Scottsdale. And then Unity, I've ridden with Unity for a long time. And it's funny because we're talking about the community and the differences and everything. I honestly love riding with all these different groups. I love riding with Down Temple. They're so chill. Everyone's super nice. I don't think they're super hyped on like the wheelie guys. But I'm friends with obviously lots of wheelie guys.
Down Tempo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of these groups, I feel like that's the vibe I get.
It's not that the wheelie kids are a lot faster and they're I don't want to say more reckless. They just appear more reckless.
For sure. More
even though like if you stay in your lane, they still appear reckless, and a lot of people don't like that. That's why I never fit in to some of those. But those were the only rides I had, so they would see me.
Right. Now, but the best way about that too is, I was talking about this too, but the other day, man, like, I think you call it reckless. I seen it more of like a pirate style. And as soon as you told me like the Black Sparrow, I was like, my God.
It's all like a movie, man. Like Down Tempo is more like, the Eastern Trading Company, and we're more like Jack Sparrow. But if you see in every movie, it all comes together somehow, some way.
Oh, right.
That's what critical mass is. We all come together, basically.
We all mesh together, exactly.
Basically.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's, if anyone's listening and they want to learn more about all the different groups, that's the best way to get involved is the first Thursday of every month, Saturday morning service on Instagram. That's critical mass, and you'll go there, you'll meet people. You'll see different kinds of bikes and different kinds of cliques, and you'll be able to talk to those people. You'll be able to get their socials and then learn where you fit in,
Exactly, man. And I really do appreciate for everybody inside the biking community for being so friendly. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people had a weird stereotype about skaters back in the days, and like they're like, yo, I don't want to go skating because I think people are gonna bag on me. I never seen anybody bag on anybody else at the skate park other than if you had it coming.
Right. Nobody bagged on skaters at the skate park unless you were not a skater.
Right.
If you weren't a skater, then you're same with the bike scene. Same with the bike scene. If you're here and you genuinely want to be here, nobody's gonna bag. We're probably gonna figure out where you need to be.
Right.
But we're not gonna bag on you. Absolutely not. We want you outside.
I love that, man.
The skaters I grew up with are super mean. We used to cap on everybody.
Bro, did you? It was different times.
I can say 100% that the bike community in Phoenix is way more welcoming than any skate culture I've ever seen. And skateboarding will be in my blood forever. So,
You skated out here? You skated out here?
Oh, yeah, I've been skating my whole life, man.
What skate park was yours?
Well, I broke my elbow at the Union Hills, the Glendale Park.
Desert West.
The Desert West, yes sir.
I've been to D West many times.
Yeah, shout out to D West. We love D West, man.
Man, I grew up on 91st and Thomas, man. So D West was like literally right there. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, man. Did you randomly just think about Tuesday?
Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you never.
I had to shout out those bike crews before I forgot.
Yes, sir.
So with Tuesday, it's just real brief. It's nothing. I have a kid, and so I don't have her on Tuesdays ever. Well, for the most part. Okay, so I live on the west side. I didn't know of any regular rides on the west side. I didn't know of any regular rides on Tuesday. I have since found out that there is a ride in Tempe, the Crap Ride, but those are mostly road bikes, and they ride super fast from what I understand. I've never ridden with them. Spinelli's Pizza.
They ride, okay.
They're down with all those, you can follow them for the Crap Rides.
I think that's an extension of Tip, which is Tempe ride, which was normal Tuesday ride. Before you?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they kind of died off because their numbers fell, I think. And then it became that.
Yeah.
The faster one.
It's funny because someone told me about it when I first started the Tuesday ride, and I looked at it, and they hadn't posted for like several months. But then I looked at it later, and then they had been posting more regularly. So I think they died down during COVID, like you're saying, probably. But anyway, they're not on the west side, so, hopefully no hard feelings there.
There's nothing on the west side, true.
So I just wanted a regular ride. Okay, so when I shattered my elbow and during COVID, I gained some weight.
Like through eating or just chilling?
Just chilling and I don't know. Nothing crazy. I mean, you can tell I'm pretty thin.
Yes.
But, so I wanted something regular because we all know if you don't have a routine, I shouldn't say we all know because some people don't, but when you have a routine, it helps you keep in shape for sure.
100%.
And mentally also. So I wanted a regular ride on Tuesday. I wanted a ride on the west side. And so I just started asking people. And a lot of people that are listening to this probably know Reynaldo.
Yes, sir.
You know Reynaldo. Yeah, he has like 4,000 followers on Instagram, and he's like heavy in the bike community. He only speaks Spanish. I've been seeing him post in downtown Glendale like all the time. So I started talking to him like, let's get a regular ride going. I'm free on Tuesdays. And he seemed interested. And he actually came to my very first ride and he helped promote it.
Man.
And he came for about a month and then he kind of just disappeared. But he has a little baby and, he goes to church all the time. And so, we just started it up.
Shout out to that.
People had been saying they were going to come. So then the very first week, no one came. They told me they weren't coming, but I made a video. I felt like a dumbass. And I was like, I'm going to start riding here at Saguaro Ranch Park every Tuesday. So if anyone wants to come, the first week, it was actually the second time, 6 people came. Okay. And then after that, there were like 15 or 20. And so usually we have somewhere between 10 and 25 people. And it just varies. At our last ride we had over 30, but it was like a Christmas thing. So.
Oh, right, man.
And your guys' last one, you guys did, what route did you guys do for the light route? The light route that you guys went through?
Oh, it was in Moon Valley, but we don't normally ride in Moon Valley. Normally we ride in, we don't meet at Saguaro Ranch anymore because they closed that park at 10. We ride at a park, it can change. Okay. So, but yeah, it's Sunny Slope Park, but it's not Sunny Slope the neighborhood. It's 71st Avenue in Dunlap.
And that's my first realization, man, because my first time I went to Sunny Slope, like by the high school. So I went to like 7th Street and like Peoria.
Yeah.
Like thinking it was right around there. I was like, fuck, man, I'm not around. No, Izzy was the one that told me about the Tuesday too. So again, shouts out to motherfucking Izzy. Now, when I came out to the Tuesday rides, everybody, I did appreciate, man, how it was a plethora of everybody. Like you had your fair share of SE bikes right here. You had the Thrones. I met a couple of fixed gear guys. And I'm trying to bring the fixed gear people out more because I'm like, come on, man, it's fixed gear lifestyle. But I seen a couple, and like it's so beautiful that all the time that we do come out to, man, it's always a very friendly environment. I had friends like check out all my videos and like they're like, yo, you guys just look like you guys are having the time of your lives. We are. Like everybody is.
Yeah, for real. We do have a time when we're alive. Like when is it genuine? When you see us smiling and like that, we're in the moment, capturing it. Like it's genuine smiles. Like we are having fun.
A blast. Now, man, I did want to go over. We did glance over the is it Unity? So I did want to talk about something that did happen in the biking community recently. Brian, can you break it down to us? Because like I really don't know my fair share of the information.
Yeah, for sure. And real quick, since we shouted out Izzy and we were talking about Pedal Squad history, when did the big BMX guys start riding with Pedal Squad?
When did Big BMX started riding with us?
Because a lot of the guys riding with Pedal Squad now are the big BMX guys.
It's not when did big bikes start riding with us. It's when did we convert to big bikes.
Hey.
Because like I said,
before COVID or?
Willie Wednesday was originally fixies.
Yeah.
Fixed gears, track bikes. It didn't change until recently. So again, we're adapting from California.
Right.
The people who I rode with, Throne, shouts out to Throne, shouts out to Block Boy, shouts out to, Flacco.
Yes, sir.
My mentors, basically, my OGs, are Throne riders. They have big bikes. The big bikes do wheelies. I do wheelies. The people in my clique did wheelies. They just started getting the big bikes. So like Izzy, Izzy's a fixie.
He started with fixie, right?
Izzy started off with fixie, but has what 3-4 big bikes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We would get our friends who are extension of us. What kind of bike do you need? Well, so we would have somebody bring out a let's use for example Edwin. So Edwin had a big bike.
Yes, sir.
But he also started on a fixie. So he went out and got a big bike. His big bike ended up getting sold to somebody else. They used it. Somebody else in the clique used it, and then it got sold off to somebody outside.
That is dope.
Same with my little cousin. He had, shouts out to CJ. He had his track bike. He had a track bike before me. He had his track bike. He BMX, so he had he was already going to get a big bike fixed anyways.
I like that.
He bought a bike. We ended up selling that to one of the homies so they could ride. That bike got sold to somebody else and sold to somebody else. So we just essentially just picked up the big bikes. Then all the other big bikes, like the kids, they were like, oh, this is where we belong now. So we just ended up picking up the big bikes as second bikes to have fun too.
That's right. I didn't even know that.
That is pretty
I didn't
cool.
know CJ was your cousin.
Yeah, CJ.
Wow.
CJ.
Shout out, yeah.
And he has history in BMX too.
So when I was skateboarding, he was BMXing.
Yeah.
Oh wait, when I was skateboarding, he was. Yeah.
I've seen some of his old videos because he's been on a 20-inch lately.
dope.
And I was like,
he's
love seeing guys out on 20 inches.
Hey, right. Now, that is very true, man, that I didn't see a lot of big bikes back in the days. Like when I first dabbled into fixed gears, like around 2013, it was like a very minimal commute. Like nobody knew about these bikes. And secondly, like I never seen Thrones. I never seen like bikes like that.
They wasn't around.
Right.
They weren't around.
And like other than like you'll see, man, like do you guys remember the fixed gears that used to have like the foaming pad like right on the top of the frame right here? And it kind of looked like the first evolution of a track bike. Like it was going towards the SC bike, but it was like a mixture between a SC bike and a fixed gear. And like I seen those first, and like it kind of opened up my mind. I was like, I like the bright colors, I like the flashiness.
I think what you're talking about is the style of the track bike at the time.
Right.
Because it sounds like a steel frame with the pad, which was normally for bike polo.
Right.
It sounds like a bright arrow spoke in the front. It sounds like spoke cards in the back. And it sounds like it might have risers or something like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that was how we started wheeling with pre-Throne. So back in 2016 or whatever, pre-Throne when we were like rocking state, when we were like I was riding loops
Man.
People in LA were riding state bikes, Aventins, Unknowns. That's the style that we wanted, like the steel frame, so we could do tricks like that.
Okay.
But we didn't have that in Arizona at the time. You had to go to California to find that. San Francisco was real big on it. New York, they already had that down pat. So at the time, just like with any other trend, that was the trend at the time.
Right.
We didn't have that in Arizona at all.
Man.
A couple of years ago. And now it's integrated, everything.
You see it everywhere, right?
Everywhere. You're welcome to everywhere in the bike scene now.
That is dope.
Yeah, the bike you described, SE used to make bikes like that.
Okay.
Fixed gears.
Man.
Yeah.
Cause like I like remember specifically like, and I just got enthralled by like all the bright colors. Cause like I always liked, you know, monotone colors, like just a black bike, black on everything, and you know, just keep it going. But when you seen that, like I was just like, that is the most dopest thing. Now I do want to go into another thing. One of my first conversations that I had with Otis, and man, like you might not remember this, my guy, but it was like right after a Wheelie Wednesday. It was at downtown. And I was asking you, because I had a fixed gear, man, and like I was like, I don't see a lot of people that naturally just boop, you know, just flop it up and just start riding, you know? And like all the time that you see Otis, he effortlessly picks up this bike and just gets right into a wheelie. And you told me, man, that like if you're not like it was the dopest kind of like compliment. Like you were like, if you're not the flashiest person out here, then what are you doing? You know?
Right.
And like I was like, yo, like it really made me like think like, yo, for real, like if I'm not coming out here to like low key, for a lack of a better term, dare I say, peacock, you know, what am I doing?
That's what really Wednesday is for you to spread your wings and fly. Like
I like
you
that.
still want to be, you know, you still got a code to abide by, but it's freedom. You don't have to be, you know, in anyone's like what they think of you.
Right.
Like you can be free. Like you're free to express down to your bike, your shoes, your hair. Like it's a freedom. You're not locked into wearing a helmet. You're not locked into, you know, riding with lights. You're not locked in like there's strict rides out there. Like if you don't have a helmet, you cannot ride.
Man.
If you don't have your lights, you cannot ride. Like they will. I'm not gonna say they're gonna knock you down off your bike.
Tell you don't.
They will definitely drop you unintentionally or intentionally. They will drop you, like literally. They will ride so fast that you cannot keep up on them.
Man.
But like our rides are literally like bring everybody out, bring little kids, because that's when they're gonna learn.
Right.
Especially little kids, that they can be free and do what they like to do is when they ride bikes, especially riding bikes.
For real. And if I can teach the community out there something, because I'm going to segue it back to one thing, for all the children out there, fuck the police. I'm going to take it right back to Brian. We're going to talk about this.
So I actually wasn't there, but Unity had a ride, and Randy's the owner of Unity Ride Shop.
Shouts out, Randy.
Yeah, talking to him.
Shouts out, Randy.
Yeah, shout out, Randy. Like I said earlier, they were doing 2 rides a month and a BMX jam, so 3 events every single month, and he's been doing that for 5 years, he said.
Man.
So hell yeah, that's serious accomplishment. Major kudos. So he's never had any major problems until, you know, about a month and a half ago. They were on a big ride in Tempe, which they did once a month. They had a ride in Tempe. They do the Tempe ride. And then every other week, they'll do a ride to downtown Phoenix, and then they would do the BMX jam usually at the Glendale X-Corp Park. But anyway, they were on their ride in Tempe, and I've heard different versions of this story. But there was a car that was being aggressive, and the guys were getting rowdy with the car, and someone called the cops. There were some other things that happened. I don't really know if they were that pertinent to everything that ended up going down. But so when they have these big rides, and Otis knows this better than any of us, but some of the leaders will guide the traffic. They'll kind of sometimes be in the middle of the road, and you know, like if the group is turning right, they'll guide everyone to the right and block the cars to keep everyone safe. Yes, sir. Which I really appreciate, because when I go to a lot of the big rides, I have my kid with me. And so, yeah, Randy was just in the middle of the road guiding traffic, and got tackled by a cop. So
Man.
they charged him. They took him to jail. They charged him with a bunch of stuff. And his lawyer thinks everything's going to be dropped, but his court date's not until late January, so he doesn't really know what's going on right now.
It's in that limbo state.
Yeah, but hopefully the
It's
cop.
the most stressful time.
Yeah, they're trying to get the cop's body cam. If you've met Randy, you know he's just a super nice dude. You've seen him out there directing traffic. There's no way he was causing trouble with the cops. There's just no way.
When I got the news, I wasn't there. I was in Vegas at a ride out. Somebody told me they took Randy. I said, who? They said the police. And I said, somebody arrested a person who single-handedly opened up a shop called Unity.
For real.
And you arrested him? For what?
The most happiest guy, yeah.
How do you, shout out to Randy, how do you arrest Randy, who opened a bike shop called Unity?
For real.
How? Like I said, I wasn't there, so
Dang, man.
I'm just assuming the cops got a call. One version of the story I heard was someone broke a mirror on this car. Another person said the mirror wasn't broken, they just hit it. They just kind of slapped it. So, but I'm just imagining the cops got a call and said there's a group of bike riders being aggressive. They broke my mirror, you know, whatever. And so when they saw Randy in the street, they just, obviously it's super, super fucked up to just tackle someone like that.
For real.
But yeah, he's already shelled out $3,000 for a lawyer.
Damn, man.
And since we have a Tuesday ride, you know, I don't consider myself a leader. And after talking to Randy about this, I have to watch what I say. You know, basically, we're not a ride out. We're not an organized event. And I'm not a leader. And I'm going to talk about this more on the socials. And, you know, after Randy's been talking to a lawyer and he's got a lot of changes that are going to be coming. Okay. So, and everyone who's in the Phoenix bike community that used to go to the Unity rides know there hasn't been a ride since this happened, and it was about a month and a half ago. So that's one of the reasons I asked Otis to come on, to see if, I don't have any answers to this. I just know that, so the lawyers told Randy that as a group coordinator, if someone doesn't take responsibility for something that happens on a ride, they can come after the group coordinator. And so I can't, you know, I'm a grown-ass man, I got a kid. I can't, let's just say I'm on a Tuesday ride and some kid gets hit by a car.
Right.
You know, theoretically their parents, according to this lawyer, they could come after me. Or someone destroys some property. If no one steps up to the plate and, you know, somehow they find out it was
literally the first person that they...
Yeah.
Hello.
And that's low-key rat shit, like, if you ask me, because, like, that's not holding accountability to the right person, man, right?
It's really not. Because any event that you go to, it's at your own risk. It's at your own risk. If you leave your house, it's your own risk.
Right.
You go to any event, you sign a waiver that says, I am entering this event at my own risk. You ride a bike for the day, it's your own risk. You drive, it's your own risk.
Exactly.
It's your own risk. It shouldn't be on somebody else's. But at the same time, that's how, like the lawyer says, that they have to find somebody. And the easiest person to find is the one who coordinated the event.
And that's not even fair, man. And I do apologize, man, like that is kind of going on because just like Otis said, you know, we don't leave our houses and I don't go to things expecting for you to make my safety the utmost priority out of everything. But I think it is kind of true too. Let's say if the shoe is on the other foot, if something did happen on the ride, man, how do you guys think the best way is to go about that? Like, it's like, how do we go about correcting wrongs, if you will?
Yeah, it's real tricky, and that's obviously situational. But we had another incident at a ride where a kid ran into a car, and there might have been some property damage. I'm not sure. So, you know, I've been thinking a lot about this. You know, I can understand if you're a kid by yourself and you do some property damage, you're probably just going to take off and not think about it, you know. But if you're an adult and you have insurance or you have the means to take care of your, to right your wrongs, basically, you know, it's very complicated. But yeah, it's one of the reasons I asked Otis to come on, is so we could talk about this kind of stuff. Because as the leader of a ride, I can't be responsible for some kid acting up and just, you know, being crazy. Now I know accidents happen and that's different, but
True.
I'm not gonna say you're a leader or a ride coordinator or.
yeah.
But when you leave the house on Tuesday, when you originally started this, it was fitness and exercise. You wanted to be around your friends, family, have a good day, leave the house, ride your bike, and come home.
Amen.
There's no reason that anybody else should put your plans in jeopardy because of their actions.
100%.
That's at the end of the day, when I leave the house, that's how I feel. And I'm pretty sure you can ask anybody who's ever leaded a group